On day 7, we will be leaving Accra and heading to Winneba, where we'll do a pastor school at Ebenezer Methodist Cathedral. As we head out to Winneba, we'll be passing through the countryside. At various intersections, we'll see markets, some very large. We'll also see many small villages. Let's sit back and take a trip through Africa. Soon we arrive in Winneba, where we'll be having our pastor school.
Let his glory be seen. People celebrate our
first stop will be with Bishop Gunny, who is the bishop of this area. He will go with us to the pastor school and also show us around the area. Our pastor school at Winneba will be held at Ebenezer Methodist Cathedral. Note, like most Methodist churches here, it's a very active church, and these posters are of people who passed away, and again they put these up around the city.
It declined. And 13 years ago, it probably was about 10 to 15,000 people. And now it's about 9,000. But since we merged the church with 120 members. Although we are in a decline.
I am going away. But I will send another counselor. I will not leave you comfortless. And he himself promises the presence.
After we get through with the pastor school, we drive through the teachers' college here in Winneba. They have a women's prayer meeting every month here, and hundreds show up to pray for their country, all wearing their pink dresses. We'll be eating at the Lagoon Lodge restaurant. Here we'll be sampling bunko, one of the local dishes. Next, we'll drive to the Rafiki Orphanage. The Rafiki Orphanage is located at the end of this dirt road. Not long ago, fishermen would come to Winneba and the surrounding area to offer locals a small amount of money for their children to come work for them on boats. They would also take orphans. Because of their poverty, many parents would accept. As the fishermen cast nets to fish, the nets would often get caught on logs and other debris. The fishermen would tell the children to climb down and untangle the nets. As you might suspect, sometimes the children would drown while trying to free the nets. The fishermen would then just use their bodies as bait in their callous catching of fish. The orphanage was part to provide an alternative destination for parentless children. The Rafiki Foundation promised to support it for 5 years. But by the end of the first year, they had run out of money, and so with buildings half built, staff on site, and children there also, the Rafiki Orphanage had to scramble to try and find funding. The Methodist Church of Ghana took up the funding, but not on a very high level. They still struggle today to keep the children in orphanage open.
In our partnership, he's always done what he's promised. He has done so today. Reverend Say, I remember the prayer the first time 4 years ago that we were here and the project was struggling.
The group homes are designed to have a mixture of ages and sex, with 10 in each family, a mother who has no children at home and is single, and an auntie. They have apartments for her, for some small children, and then also bathrooms and a girls' and boys' dorm room. They will stay together until they're in their 20s, when they are able to go out on their own and work. One of the things Clint and Katie are doing is setting up a support system for the kids, where for $90 you can support one for a month and correspond with them. And of course, the orphanage is all about children. They currently have 3 families, about 30 people living there, with 2 group homes not currently occupied. They can have a capacity right now of 50, hoping to build 5 more homes to have a total capacity of 100 when funds become available. On the way back, we drive through Rafiki Village. Actually, they donated the property for the orphanage. Next, we'll be heading back through Winneba, where we'll be going to Bishop Gunny's recovery center that he's currently building. One of the paving construction is they put the roof on last, and since rain comes regularly, mildew often starts in what's already been built. When the building's finally finished, they have to go back and deal with the mildew also. Our last stop of the day will be a piece of property that Matthias plans to build a retreat center on for pastors who need time alone and also maybe housing mission teams that be coming. Then back through the night traffic in Accra to the guest house. At the guest house, we'll be making a presentation to Bishop Abraham.
The very first pastor school we did here, the very first one, I remember when Bishop Abraham was there from the very beginning to the end.
And then it's time to call day 7 to a close and go off to bed.